All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth, with Ben Jokes. Traore built tangible projects without ceremonies. You celebrated uncompleted coastal highway with funfair. Analysts blast Tinubu. Now, I have said here repeatedly that other African countries are leaving Nigeria behind in terms of good leadership. Traore of Burkina Faso, a 37-year-old young man, understands that leadership is a call to service. Whatever you build, you used resources from the country's purse. So you don't have to act like a demigod when you complete a project. So he kept all his massive achievements on the low. But a 112-year-old Tinubu was happy to shut Lagos down to commission a project that is only 4% complete. That is why neighboring African countries are now laughing at us. They are shutting their borders against Nigeria because they have concluded that we are not a serious people. Look at the level of poverty. Nigeria has the highest number of poor people in the world with all the resources that we have. The country has too much potential for the shameful state that it is in as we speak, and the rest of the world is just avoiding us. Multinationals are running away. Nigeria, the poverty capital of the world, with the poverty projected to become even worse by 2027. And few hours ago, the Nigerian Air Force killed innocent Nigerians once again in another terrible airstrike. This is like the 5th time this is happening under Tinubu. This particular airstrike will have several negative consequences, aside the fact that many people have died. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that shocking update from the Emir of Kano, SANUSI, Lamido Sanusi, attacking Tinubu began making the rounds. Clearly, the attack of northern elites on Aso Rock is intensifying day by day, and Tinubu's worst nightmare is beginning to unfold right before his eyes. Before I show you details of these top stories and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video.
The security situation in Benue State is alarming. The Anfali in Ediku ward, which is my immediate council ward, were attacked on Sunday. And as I can tell you, there is nobody presently in that community because they ran away for their life. Over 11 persons were buried and one is still missing. And about 5 of them are critically ill and receiving treatment in the hospital. And as I can tell you, this is not the first time my local government or my constituency has been attacked. There have been pockets of killing since March this year, and even last year as well. And we don't know where this thing is coming from. As we speak, our people are dominantly farmers. No one can go to farm in my village or in every community in about 6 council wards in Apa local government. They cannot go to farm. Even the yam they planted about 500 meters from their village, the planting herdsmen goes there, uproot this and put in their sacks and took it to wherever they want to do. People cannot go to farm. They cannot plant anything. So we are just helpless.
Honorable Moro, is the death toll 33 or 43? Let's be clear on that.
Well, I'm speaking on my own local government. I was on ground yesterday. As early as 7:30 a.m. I was in my local government. And the people that were buried is 11 and 1 missing. And 7 are critically ill, receiving treatment in various hospitals in the council, and some are taken to Odupo Teaching Hospital.
You saw that. That was Honorable Abu Umoru there telling that sad story of what is happening in Benue State. About 9 local governments came under attack, and in one local government, 11 people were buried. This is the true situation of things in Nigeria, not the lies we've been hearing in the media from Nuhu Ribadu and a lot of other people in Tinubu cabinet saying that security has improved. Those are all lies. This is the true situation. I wouldn't want to sadden you with more reports on killings in Nigeria. Otherwise, as we speak, I have confirmed reports of killings from Enugu, from Ondo State, from Niger State, Ogun State, Kwara State, Sokoto State. All these killings took place in the last 24 hours. But I don't want to just put everything out so people don't get depressed. So it is a show of wickedness, heartlessness, and even complicity for anyone to suggest that the security situation in this country has improved in the last 24 months. And when the people who should be providing solutions to a problem are denying the problem, it is either they have a hand in it or they lack the skills to tackle it. In the case of the APC, it is both. And I just pity this country, especially southern Nigeria. Insecurity is not something to be joked with. The beginning is subtle, the process is insidious, but when it is full-blown, na catastrophe. I pity southern Nigeria if we don't all unite, cast our sentiments aside, and get the APC out of power. Now, let us look at the top stories. First is that airstrike that took out innocent Nigerians. This is like the 5th time this is happening under Tinubu. And next is that update from Emir of Kano, Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi, mounting a subtle attack on Tinubu, thereby compounding Tinubu's woes in northern Nigeria. Let's start by taking that update on the airstrike. Look at how the papers reported it. Zamfara air strikes. Nigerian Air Force locals differ over casualty figures. Members of the local vigilante in Zamfara have narrated how the Nigerian Air Force jets bombed them while they were chasing terrorists that attacked Gerimani, a village in the Maru local government area. The vigilantes asserted that some of their members were among those killed in the Nigerian Air Force airstrikes during the attack on Saturday, while the Nigerian Air Force confirmed that 2 local vigilantes lost their lives when troops from Operation Fasanyama thwarted the attack. The vigilantes maintained their stance, saying the numbers were more than that. A vigilante who spoke to BBC Hausa said his colleagues were mobilized and gave chase to the fleeing terrorists. He said, "We were pursuing the bandits when we saw the fighter jet approaching. It flew very low and started bombing us. Some of us survived by pretending we had been hit. When the jet left, we got up and fled to safety." A resident speaking anonymously claimed that the military misfired and expressed disappointment over the military's lack of communication. "We understand it was an unfortunate mistake, but the military should acknowledge what happened and reach out to the victims' families," he said. Instead of denying the number of casualties, instead of arguing, you have misfired by not communicating well with these people. Just apologize. I spoke about the negative consequence of this misfire. Now that vigilantes have been treated like this, do you think people want to join the vigilante to defend the people henceforth? And this is the first line of defense. The military has no right to treat them this way. Pathetic. For a very long time, terrorists would attack and go scot-free. The military will not show up. So the people decided to form vigilante groups to defend themselves. Suddenly, the military begins showing up and killing vigilante members. Now, if that was a mistake, there wouldn't only be an apology, the apology would be profound. But in this case, the army is even denying the number of casualties. You are in an aircraft, you are arguing with the people that were on ground over the number of people who were hit. So you mean the vigilante members cannot identify themselves? This is a shame. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that update from the Emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, began making the rounds. Now, Sanusi Lamido made a shocking revelation about the political class in this speech, where he attacked Tinubu without mentioning his name. This is, for me, the worst form of attack. You didn't mention the person's name, but the whole country knew who you were talking to. This kind of attack means that you are not willing to make amends. And this opens up another chapter to the woes of Tinubu in northern Nigeria. Look at how the papers reported it. I only knew what poverty is when I became Emir, Sanusi Lamido. The former CBN governor said many of the elites in Nigeria do not know what poverty is. As an economist, former CBN governor, I see the numbers, but I did not know poverty until I became Emir. And you go to the village and see the water they drink, the houses they live in. There are 2-block classrooms without roofs. Do we actually love the people, or do we just love ruling over them? What are our priorities? We make overheads and underpasses for ourselves in the cities, while they in the rural areas cannot reach hospitals. We are in crisis. How do we get out should be our focus. Sanusi charged those saddled with the responsibility of leadership to inculcate the virtues of empathy with those they've been given a responsibility to lead. Also speaking at the event, former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai expressed concern that Nigerians kept repeating the same mistake of electing the worst among us into leadership positions. According to him, we keep electing people who only know how to grab power but don't know what to do with it. So what Sanusi was giving off as a coded language, El-Rufai came in and decoded everything. Of course, they were both speaking to people who know how to grab power but don't know what to do with it. And just as Sanusi Lamido revealed there, he said many people in the political class don't know what poverty is. That is a very, very deep statement there. When we say it, it will be as if we are just joking. Many of those things they stand and they read, they don't even understand the meaning. And this is why I give a lot of kudos to none other than His Excellency Peter Obi. Because this is the only politician that goes to the grassroots to see the people, to see how they are faring. I'm not talking about the show of shame that they do during campaigns, where a governor's wife will go and sit down and be frying akara, where they will go to the village. There was one, Fayemi was taking Gary. That is not the one I'm talking about. I'm talking of genuine visits to the people to really know what they are going through. Sanusi said it was until he became Emir that he knew what poverty was. All these guys that lived all their lives stealing from government purses, they don't know what it means. So Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi, condemning this government, and that is yet another big week from northern Nigeria, expressing dissatisfaction at the massive failure of the Tinubu administration. We have seen big wigs from southwest Nigeria too condemning this administration. So from all indications, it is those who are directly or indirectly linked to this government that are endorsing Tinubu. Almost every other elite from every part of the country has condemned it. And what they will quickly do is to run to the defense of Tinubu by saying he was bold enough to remove subsidy. And they are just trying to deflect people from the main issue. I keep saying it. It is not subsidy removal that is the major issue. The major issue is that they have mismanaged the economy to the point that the monies you removed from subsidy is not being felt. What was said was that Nigeria was investing too much in subsidy payments, and that was why areas like education, health, infrastructure were lacking. They said if we were able to pull out subsidy, the money will be reinvested into those areas: education, health, pipe-borne water, potable water for Nigerians to drink, nutrition and all that, agriculture. That was what they said. Now you went ahead and pulled out subsidy, and those areas are still suffering. As a matter of fact, they are worse than they were before you came in. What did you do with subsidy money? You said you have doubled, you have tripled the money you are giving National Assembly members for constituency projects, that each senator is getting 2 billion naira and House of Rep member is getting 1 billion. Is there anybody in this country who does not know that lawmakers embezzle their constituency project monies? Everybody knows that. You said you have tripled the monies you are giving to state governors. You have increased their allocation. Is there any adult in this country who does not know that governors embezzle more than 80% of their allocation? For instance, right under Tinubu's nose, Wike is asking Fubara to give him about 50 to 60% of Rivers State allocation. So if you increase the allocation you are giving to Fubara, what difference is that going to make on the people of Rivers State? But we know the game. You removed subsidy from petrol, removed subsidy from electricity, removed subsidy from education, and after aggregating everything, you, Tinubu alone, will pocket 50% of the money. Then the other 50% you will share to governors and lawmakers so that everybody can keep quiet. That is what you are doing. When Nigerians complain, you will say they should go and meet their governors, they should go and meet their lawmakers, as if we protest, it is not still the same you that will send police and army to come and start shooting people. What a disaster. But this is the APC. I am not surprised. They have come to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And that is why I keep telling Nigerians that for us to have a country that we can be proud of, hell, for us to have a country at all in the near future, we must come together, cast our sentiments aside, and get the APC out of power. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una na I dey here, so don't go away, don't go away.